everyone. So this is a completely optional video, so if you've clicked it by accident, feel free to leave. If you want to stick around for the extra practice, it's definitely worthwhile. I had a few people asking about this sort of question, and I think more practice is always better. So if you want to stick around, get the extra practice in. I'm about to do some examples and then put some practice questions up. So I'm going to start with this one, so pattern 1. So I'm going to start on the bronze difficulty ones and work up to some harder ones with gold as well. So this is example 1. So pattern 4. So we can basically, what we do is with these questions we're given a pattern and we need to work out what the next one in the pattern is. So we can see we've got 2, and we're adding 3 beneath it, we're adding 3 beneath that. So straight off the bat we can kind of see it's going to be like 2 with 3, sorry about my rubbish drawing, and 3 below that. So basically each time we're just adding on a row of 3. The other way we can do it is by writing it out as a list. So we've got 2 squares in this one, got 5 in this one, 8, so 2, 5, 8, and trying to sort of spot the pattern like this. So we've got plus 3, plus 3. So each time we're just adding 3, so that tells us the next one would be plus 3, so that would give us 11 in the next one. But with this sort of question, you need to just draw the pattern. So you're just kind of spotting what's changed each time. So in this case, you're adding on a row of 3, but a really common extra question is how many squares are there in that pattern, in which case you would need to do one like this. Okay, so like I was saying with the previous one, a really common question is how many squares are there? And this is asking for the nth pattern. So what this is asking for is an nth term of the number of squares. So we're going to have to do it the way I showed you with the first question. So pattern 1 has 1 square. Pattern 2 has got 5 squares. Pattern 4 has got 9 squares. So you can see each time they're just adding 1 onto the outside. So they're adding 4 each time. So when we know they're adding 4, that tells us, so the nth term, that is going to start 4n, because we've got changing by 4 each time, so it's going to start 4n, and then it's going to be plus or minus something. And we work out what the extra bit is by working out what the 0th term would be. So if that was plus 4, we're going to have to go backwards, so we're going to minus 4. So 1 minus 4 gives us minus 3. So 4n minus 3 is the nth term for that one. So it might have said what is the one in the 100th pattern, in which case you'd then have to substitute in for n to work out in the 100th pattern. Okay, so gold, this is kind of like the extra question I said on the silver, except, so basically it's similar to silver except we're told what position in the pattern. So we need to work out the nth term and then do n equals 44. So let's start out by working out the nth term. So we've got a shape and this has got 5 in the pattern. Then we've added on, so we've now got 8, and we've added on an extra 3, so we've now got 11 in this next pattern. So each time we're adding 3. So that tells us our nth term is going to start 3n. And then to work out the extra part of the nth term, we need to work out the 0th term. So we go backwards, so we do the opposite of minus 3 to get 2. So it's going to be 3n plus 2. And now we're looking for the 44th term. So we know that it's 3n plus 2, and we know that n equals 44. So we're going to do 3 times 44, and then plus 2. So 3 times 44 gives 132 plus 2, so that is 134 overall. So these ones, it's basically if you convert it into a number sequence like this, a normal one, and then you can just use your nth term to go from there. So when you've got your number one, it's just a normal nth term question. So here's some extra questions. If you want to pause the video and have a go at these, there's answers on the next slide as well. So if you want to get some practice with the shape ones, is a good source of them. So question 1, 2 and 3, So bronze, silver, gold. The gold ones are a bit harder there, like the last example I did. The bronze one's a bit more straightforward, that's just carrying on a pattern. And here's the answers. If you have any questions, feel free to email me, but if not, that's great, you can have a go at the Dr. Frost work for today.